Nike is the world's largest sportswear brand. They earn about 1,000 crore rupees every day. World-class athletes like Ronaldo and Rafael Nadal use their products. But would you believe that the person who built Nike was himself a failed athlete, and he started his business by selling shoes from the trunk of his car? This is the story of Nike's founder, Phil Knight. Phil Knight was born in 1,938 inches, a small town called Portland in America. From childhood, he ran very fast, and his life's ultimate dream was to become a great athlete. In school and college, he worked hard on his running and won many races. Along with running, Phil continued his education and completed his MBA in 1962. During his practice run, he faced reality. After dedicating his entire youth to running, he had become one of the best athletes in his state, but he could not become a national or international level athlete. Sadly, he was good, but not great. So, that morning, with a very heavy heart, Phil accepted that this was the end of his athletic career. He had failed in his dream of becoming an elite athlete. But, like every runner, Phil was deeply connected to his running shoes. So, he decided that he would do business in shoes. Phil remembered that during his MBA, he had studied for weeks and written a detailed research paper on the running shoe business. In his research, he found that Japanese camera companies had disrupted the American camera market due to their better quality and low prices. According to his research paper, Japanese shoes could similarly disrupt the USA shoe market and overtake the biggest companies of that time, Adidas and Puma. Starting a whole business based on this college project was a huge risk, but Phil had no other option. He decided to import Tiger brand shoes from Japan and sell them in the USA. Tiger shoes were manufactured by a Japanese company named Onitsuka. So Phil gathered all his savings and took a flight to Japan. Finally reaching Japan, he called Onitsuka's office and got an appointment. Before the meeting, he was quite nervous. A young boy, who was shy and introverted by nature, had suddenly set out to partner with a huge Japanese shoe company. Moreover, at the start of the meeting, the Onitsuka executive asked Phil the name of his company. Somehow, the image of the blue ribbons kept in his house came to Phil's mind, the same blue ribbons he had achieved by winning many races. Suddenly, blue ribbon came out of Phil's mouth. He said he represented a company named Blue Ribbon Sports. At that time, no such company existed, and Phil repeated his college project line by line. In the end, the Onitsuka employees were so impressed that they told Phil they wanted his company, Blue Ribbon, to sell Tiger shoes in America. It was a deal. Phil gave them his address and asked them to send samples of some Tiger training shoes. Phil's happiness knew no bounds. He transferred the money for the shoe samples to Onitsuka and returned to America to wait for the samples. But 4 months passed, and no shoes arrived. In response to Phil's letter, Onitsuka said the shoes would arrive soon, but in reality, that didn't happen. Phil hadn't lost hope yet, but to survive until the shoes arrived, he needed a job. So, he took a job as an accountant in a small firm. It had been almost a year since the meeting with Onitsuka, and Phil had almost lost hope when a notice arrived from customs. 12 pairs of Tiger shoes had arrived from Japan. After collecting the shoes, Phil unboxed them without stopping. First of all, he showed these shoes to his college coach, Bill Bowerman, and told him about his business plan. Bowerman liked the shoes so much that the very next day, he offered to become a direct 50% business partner with Phil. Phil was quite surprised by this offer. Throughout his coaching career, if Bill Bowerman was obsessed with one thing the most, it was shoes. Experimenting with shoes for years, he had become an expert in shoe design. His entire focus was on making shoes lightweight. He would often take his students' shoes without asking, tear them apart, make minor modifications for days, and then return them. And truly, after his modifications, the athlete's performance improved massively. Along with this, Bill Bowerman was a genius coach and a natural leader. For Phil and the other runners, he was a godlike figure. And today, that same godlike figure wanted to become Phil's business partner. It was a no-brainer. Phil shook hands with Bowerman, and now they were 50-50 partners. That same day, Phil wrote a letter to Onitsuka asking for exclusive distribution rights for the Western USA region to sell Tiger shoes. Along with that, he placed the first order for 300 shoes at a total cost of $1,000. This time, the shoes arrived on time, and Blue Ribbon also got the exclusive distribution rights for the West USA. Phil of his parents' house, and this was now Blue Ribbon's office. Now it was time to sell these shoes. Phil requested many sports shops to sell Tiger shoes, but everyone refused to keep Tiger shoes in their shop. Phil didn't have the money to open his own shop, so he improvised. He filled the trunk of his car with shoe boxes and started going wherever there was an athletic competition. After the race, he would talk to coaches, athletes, and spectators and present his shoes. Phil had tried a sales job before but hadn't been successful. But this time, the customers he had been an athlete himself, so he understood athletes' problems well. That's why he was able to easily convince customers that Tiger shoes were the best for them. In just 2 months, he sold the first shipment of 300 pairs, and this time ordered 900 Tiger shoes directly. But his total earnings were only $2,000, and the order's total cost was $3,000. So, for the first time, Phil asked the bank for a $1,000 loan. Seeing Blue Ribbon's strong business, the bank approved the loan. Phil finally had a career he deeply enjoyed. He had a trusted partner like Bill Bowerman, and a product that was selling itself. In short, a twist comes in the story. A letter arrived in Phil's name. This letter was written by a wrestling coach. This coach claimed that he had recently returned from meeting Onitsuka in Japan, and Onitsuka had given him the exclusive distribution rights for Tiger shoes for the entire USA. That coach ordered Phil to immediately stop the Tiger shoe business. Phil's business had been running for only 2 months, and now it was on his meeting. Phil made it clear how a great injustice had been done to him. He gave arguments for his strong sales and explained future plans. The next day, his meeting was directly with the company owner, Mr. Onitsuka. Upon meeting Phil, somehow, he developed trust in Phil. Mr. Onitsuka said that Phil's passion reminded him of his younger days. With that, he gave the distribution rights for the Western USA back to Phil. Phil was relieved. Completing the first year of business, Blue Ribbon had sales of $8,000. To expand to another city, they hired a salesman named Jeff Johnson. Jeff's specialty was that, like Phil, he had also been an athlete and was extremely passionate about his work. That's why, in the second year of business, sales were going to reach $16,000, exactly double. But surprisingly, this became a huge problem for them. Phil wanted to grow very fast. So, as soon as one shipment from Onitsuka sold out, he would place the next order for double or even triple the quantity. To pay for this order, he had to reinvest all his profits and also take loans from the bank. Basically, after 1 year of business, Blue Ribbon had a debt of thousands of dollars, and cash flow was negative. Due to this, banks refused to give Phil any more loans. So, Phil took an accountant's job again, this time at PwC. He started investing his entire salary. Bowerman realized that Americans' bodies are taller and heavier compared to the Japanese. Therefore, their shoes should also be different. Bowerman tore apart Tiger shoes and conducted many experiments on them. The turning point came when he combined the best features of different Tiger shoes to design an ultimate distance training shoe for Americans. He named it, and as soon as these shoes hit the American market, they became super successful. Due to Phil's management in Bowerman's shoe designs, Tiger shoes became one of the top shoe brands in all of America in the next 5 years. By 1971, sales had touched $1.3 million, and the business was doubling every year. With this, Phil quit his job and joined Blue Ribbon full-time. Greed grew inside Onitsuka. They wanted to keep all the earnings from Tiger shoes for themselves. So, they gave Phil an ultimatum. If Phil didn't sell a 51% stake in Blue Ribbon to Onitsuka, they would give the American distributorship to someone else. Phil felt quite shocked and hurt. This was a huge betrayal. By talking about buying Blue Ribbon, Onitsuka had crossed all limits. Phil gathered his team and told them that this was the moment they had all been waiting for inside. The time to sell someone else's brand was over. Now was the time to create their own brand. With this, he broke the partnership with Onitsuka and decided to manufacture his own brand of shoes. The first step was to create a new logo. Phil wanted his shoe brand's logo to evoke a sense of running, a sense of motion, and a sense of victory in athletes. Plus, the logo had to be one that could fit on the side of a shoe. He hired a graphic design student for the logo design. A few days later, the student showed several designs. The employees selected a logo that looked like a curved and thick checkmark. Phil thanked the graphic design student for her help and paid a fee of $35. After the logo, the next step was choosing a brand name. Names like Falcon and Dimension 6 were suggested. But then the company's first salesman, Jeff Johnson, told everyone that a very good name had appeared in his dream last night. That name was Nike. In Greek, the goddess of victory is called Nike. Therefore, this name was suitable and was accepted. After this, Phil hired a third-party manufacturer to make the shoes. Nike sent them the designs, and shoe manufacturing started. Finally, on the 30th of May, 1971, Nike brand shoes were officially launched for the whole world. But unlike today, no Adidas, Puma, and now Onitsuka Tiger itself were huge competitors for Nike, capable of crushing any new brand. So, other runners preferred wearing the shoes of the brand worn by the world's best athletes. So, Nike made an annual deal of $5,000 with the best runner of that time, Steve Prefontaine, to promote Nike. With this, Nike became one of the first brands to use athletic brand endorsements as a marketing strategy. Phil's second strategy was to choose his sales team strategically. Nike's sales team always hired people who had either been athletes themselves or were very passionate about athletics. This ensured that the sales team could understand their customers, who were mostly athletes, and their problems and needs well. This ultimately greatly increased the quality of product design, sales, and after-sales service. Besides these two strategies, Phil used his experience, old customer base, and Bowerman's shoe designs to grow Nike. As a result, by 1980, Nike had become a team of 2,700 employees, touched sales of $270 million, and beat Adidas to become the USA's biggest athletic shoe company. Phil finally felt that he had built the strongest athletic brand in the entire USA, but then entered a company that shook Nike, and that company was Reebok. Nike's main focus had always been to make its shoes the best for sports. Looks and style were never their focus. But in the 1,980 seconds, there was a major change in fashion trends and the taste for athletic shoes. Now people didn't just want a shoe with strong and better performance. They wanted a shoe that was attractive and stylish in looks along with performance. And Reebok gave customers exactly that. Eventually, the customer's connection with Nike started breaking. The company suffered a loss for the first time, and many employees had to be laid off. In 1986, Reebok surpassed Nike to become the #1 athletic shoe company in the USA. To survive and grow, Nike needed to do something magical soon. And for this task, Nike chose a magical basketball player, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was an emerging player at that time, and Phil knew he was capable of becoming the biggest, most legendary player in basketball future. So, Nike signed Michael Jordan as a brand ambassador. Along with this, Nike launched basketball sneakers named Air Jordan in Michael Jordan's name. Before Air Jordan, basketball shoes used to be quite ordinary and boring. But Air Jordan, with its bold colors and stylish designs, changed the trend of basketball shoes overnight. Air Jordans became those historical shoes that started the sneaker culture in the whole world. Also, at that time, Michael Jordan was in phenomenal form. Michael promoted these shoes by wearing them during games, and Nike also released ads for these shoes with Michael. Because of all this, Air Jordan emerged as a powerful combination of performance and style. In the first year of launch, Nike sold $100 million worth of Air Jordans and finally overtook Reebok again. After this success, Nike never stopped. In the 1,990 seconds, they expanded globally, conquering countries one by one. Besides shoes, they entered other sportswear. And today, with a valuation of about 12 lakh crore rupees, Nike is the world's largest sportswear brand. Execution. Phil said in his book Shoe Dog, "Let everyone else call your idea crazy. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't even think about stopping until you